Lee is a 35-year-old successful and intelligent manager. He is very sharp at his work, but he gets angry very quickly. If he feels someone is making a fool of him, he fights very badly. Because of this, he has made many enemies. People often trouble him, whether on the road or at a party. There are always fights in his friendships and love life too. On the other hand, Julian is completely different. He is currently a traveling writer. But earlier, he has also been a musician and a business student. Julian gets very excited very quickly about any new work. He starts a new job or a new relationship with full force. But after some time, he becomes sad and leaves that work or that person. There are many unfinished things lying in his house that he bought in the beginning with a lot of enthusiasm. Lee and Julian are both the same age, gender, and live in the exact same environment. Yet why are their lives so different? The straightforward answer is their personality, their temperament. A person's temperament is a fixed habit inside them, a stable trait. This is what decides how they will behave in different situations, how they will act in different circumstances. In our life, the same way of working is repeated again and again. Just like Lee gets irritated with people everywhere, and Julian shows enthusiasm first, and then despair in everything. This is exactly like the fractal design in math. In a fractal, no matter how much you enlarge or shrink a design, its form always remains the same. A person's temperament is exactly like that. The same mistakes or actions we do in our big life. Job, love. We do the same in small tasks like shopping or the way we talk. All of this rests on the structure of our body's nervous system. This book is about the science of this human temperament, about the science of personality. Earlier, this study in psychology did not get so much importance because everyone measured it in their own different ways. But now things have changed. Now we have a very solid and reliable method. It is called the 5-factor model, or Big Five. According to this model, the temperament of every person in the world can be divided into 5 parts, 5 dimensions. This has made it very easy to understand any person's behavior and conduct. Besides this, now we have new technology that takes pictures of the brain, like PET and fMRI scans. With the help of these machines, we can look at an awake person's brain from the outside. Now we know that every person's brain structure is different, and these brain differences decide our Big Five temperament or personality. A big reason for understanding human personality is our genes, our genetics. In the year 2001, scientists extracted the complete information of 25,000 to 30,000 genes of the human body. There is a little difference in every person's genes. Because of this difference, our diseases and our temperament, our personality, are completely different from each other. Along with this, human evolution is also a big reason. Scientists are now discovering why nature deliberately made us all different from each other. This book is not written only for scientists, but also for ordinary people. It includes investigations and true stories of people from all over the world. The proper measurement of human temperament began in the year 1884 with Francis Galton. He said that to make psychology a real science, it is very necessary to measure people's behavior. Today we use traits, that is qualities, to understand people's temperament. Traits are like a person's height, which is less in some and more in some. It is not something that you completely have or completely don't have. Every person in the world has 5 main traits that are called the Big Five. It's just that every person has a different level of them. Actually, all these traits are connected to the structure of our brain itself. To measure and understand this, we look at the direct relationship or correlation between different things. For example, an investigation was done on 545 people. I asked them how much time they spend with society and people, and how much they like to travel. The relationship, that is correlation, between these two things was 0.20. This relationship is exactly like the relationship between a person's height and weight. Its direct meaning is that if a person is very tall, then maybe his weight will also be more. But it is not necessary that this happens every time. In the investigation I did on 545 people, a connection was also seen between traveling and meeting people. A relationship was seen. Although it was not as strong as the connection between weight and height, still it was more than 0. The interesting thing is that people who like to travel and meet people are also a little more inclined to get ahead of others, and they also have more interest in sex. This means that if a person is very agile, active in one thing, then he will be the same in other things too. I also asked these people whether they had ever sought help from anyone for their depression or anxiety. It turned out that people who are sad are often anxious too. But the thing to note is that depressed or anxious people's connection with traveling, meeting people, sex or competition was none. When we measure many things together, then finding the relationship of everything with each other becomes very difficult and tiring. In such a situation, we use a technique called factor analysis. This technique combines a lot of data and turns it into a few main things. Like in my investigation, this technique divided all the things into just 2 parts. 2 factors. The first factor was extraversion, that is the temperament of meeting people. And the second was neuroticism, that is the temperament of getting anxious. Brain doctors, that is psychologists, find out the main traits of humans from the data of thousands of such people. By the 1980s, researchers all over the world agreed that human temperament can be divided into 5 main parts: extraversion, neuroticism, conscientiousness, that is responsible, agreeableness, that is friendly, and openness, that is open to new ideas. People often ask whether answers given about oneself can be trusted. Are these things really connected to our life? The answer is yes. Investigations show that a person's this Big Five temperament remains almost the same throughout life. If you take a test today and take it again after 10 years, then your result will come almost the same. People who call themselves talkative or anxious are the same in real life too. The most interesting thing is that this Big Five temperament has a direct effect on your real life. E. Lowell Kelly and James Conley started a research in the 1930s on 300 married couples that continued for 50 years. they saw that if either the husband or wife has a high anxious temperament, high neuroticism, then the risk of their divorce is very high. Along with this, if the husband has low responsibility and conscientiousness, then also the chances of the marriage breaking increase. Talking about married life, for people who are not happy, their habit of meeting people and friendly temperament, that is extraversion and agreeableness, plays a very big role in whether their relationship breaks or survives. People who meet more people easily meet new people. Therefore, it is easy for them to get out of an unhappy marriage and choose someone else. On the other hand, friendly people understand others' pain and try to save their relationship. The effect of personality is not only on marriage, but also on a person's lifespan. Lewis Terman started a research in 1921 on 1,500 very sharp-minded children that continued from their childhood to old age. Later, Howard Friedman took out their death certificates and told a shocking thing. He saw that children who had low responsibility and conscientiousness had a 30% higher risk of dying early. This is because responsible people stay away from cigarettes and alcohol, due to which they remain safe from cancer and heart diseases. Another interesting thing was that children who were very social and always happy also had a higher risk of dying early. The reason for this is that such people do more risky work. All these things are evidence that a person's personality has a very deep effect on his life. Although in earlier times, in the 1970s and 80s, people had doubts about this. Their belief was that the personality test only tells one way of people's behavior, but it does not tell why the person is behaving like that. This is called circular logic. Like if someone talks a lot, then we say he is social, an extrovert. But why is he like that? No one had the answer. This is exactly like someone asking, why does the medicine cause sleep? And we say, because it is a sleeping medicine. But today things have changed. Scientists are not just finding the way of behavior, the pattern of behavior, but also understanding the science behind it. Today, with modern machines like PET and fMRI scans, we have come to know that the brain structure and way of working of people with Big 5 temperament is also different. The parts of the brain that control our emotions are of different sizes in every person. Besides this, scientists have also proved the same thing with research done on twins, that half of our temperament rests on the genes we get from our parents. Now another question arises. Is a person's behavior dependent on his situation or on his personality? The truth is that it depends on both. Suppose a lion suddenly comes in front of you, a strong situation, then every person will be scared. Nature has made some brain buttons inside us for fear, anger, or happiness. But the interesting thing is that every person's this brain button turns on at different times. Like while walking through an unknown street in the darkness of night, one person will feel very scared, and another will not feel scared at all. This difference is the person's personality. In simple language, a person's personality, his temperament, decides how quickly or how strongly a particular situation will turn on his brain button. A big question is whether our personality can really decide how we will behave in a particular situation. Actually, looking at one event, it is very difficult to say how a person will behave. Like it is possible that a person by temperament is very low in friendliness, low agreeableness. But one day in the office, he does not get angry at anyone. Here, the effect of temperament can be only 10%. But if we talk about the whole year, then this same person will pick a fight or quarrel without reason at least 5 times every week and 200 times in a year. Therefore, when we talk about a long time, then our personality can make a firm prediction of our behavior, our conduct. The second thing is that a person's temperament itself often creates situations for him. This can be understood in 2 ways. First, choosing situations, that is situation selection. Like people who are very talkative and friendly deliberately go to places where they can meet new people. On the other hand, creating situations means that our behavior forces others to do the same. If you always remain irritable in the office, then other people will also stop talking to you or look for chances to fight with you. The same happens in cases of marriage and divorce. Because of your temperament, either your partner wants to stay with you or wants to go away. Every habit or quality of ours is part of some broad trait. Like if a person is very scared of diseases, then it is very possible that he is also scared about his relationships or work. This happens because the same parts of our brain that scare us of disease also scare us of other things. This is exactly like the brakes of a car. In a car, the handbrake and foot brake do different work, but both have the same system. If there is a fault in the system, then both brakes will stop working. In the same way, there are many shared systems in our brain. This is the reason that we can divide thousands of small qualities of a person into just the big 5. The finches of the Galapagos Islands gave Charles Darwin the inspiration to make the theory of evolution. Darwin saw that the shape of the beak of finches living on different islands was different. Where there were big and hard seeds, the birds' beaks were thick and strong. Where there were seeds with small holes, the beak was thin and long. Darwin said that all these birds came from one ancestor, but according to their place, only the bird with the most correct beak survived and produced children like itself. This is called natural selection. But here there is another interesting thing. Even the birds living on the same island have a little variation in the shape of their beaks. If for that island, only a particular size of beak is the best, then why doesn't every bird's beak become like that? This same question applies to human personality. Human personality is also based on our genes, that is genetics, just like the beaks of birds. There are about 30,000 genes in the human body. Many times when a child is born, a small mistake happens in the copying of the gene, which is called mutation. Because of this mutation, our diseases, blood type, that is blood group, and our personality become different from each other. Biologists believe that because of natural selection, any bad quality should disappear with time, and only the best quality should remain. This is called Fisher's fundamental theorem. But then why is human temperament, their personality, height, or intelligence so different? The answer is that we do not have different types of qualities, but different levels of the same system. Like every person has the system of getting anxious. that is negative emotions, the same. But in some it turns on quickly and in some late. Understand it with an example. In 1977, a severe drought fell on Daphne Major Island. Small seeds finished and only hard and big seeds remained. In such a situation, only thick-beaked birds survived, and their children also became thick-beaked. But in 1984, there was a lot of rain, and soft seeds came back. This time, small and thin-beaked birds got the advantage. This is called changing, according to the situation. Fluctuating selection. This means that in nature, no one thing is always the best forever. Needs keep changing according to time and situations. Therefore, nature keeps different kinds of variations saved so that when situations change, the species can survive. Besides this, some qualities remain only because they are less in people. This is called negative frequency-dependent selection. Like if most birds have thick beaks and they are eating big seeds, then thin-beaked birds can easily survive by eating small seeds because they have no competition with anyone. Only changing according to the situation does not keep variations saved. There is another reason for this, which can be understood with the example of the peacock. The more beautiful the peacock's feathers are, the more the peahen is attracted towards him. But making a beautiful and big feather is very difficult. For this, the peacock's whole body, his strength to fight diseases, and his brain all have to work in the exact right way. If there is any deficiency in the peacock's body or genes, then its effect will fall directly on the beauty of his feathers. Therefore, biologists have called it a fitness indicator trait. Here, a question arises. How do genes change in our body? When we are born with our parents' genes, then in every generation some new changes happen inside the genes. Usually these changes make our body's system a little weaker, make it less efficient. Understand it with an example. Suppose your car is running perfectly. If you change the shape of the spark plug or any other part without thinking, then the bigger chance is that the car will get spoiled rather than become better. In the same way, these new changes in our body mostly cause damage. It is said that every person among us has one or two such new changes that have come from our parents. Besides this, from our previous many generations, about 500 to 2,000 changes are present in our body. When any person or animal chooses his partner, then he searches for a partner in whom such bad changes are the least, so that their children are born healthy. The peacock's big and beautiful feathers also show the same thing. When the peahen looks at those feathers, she comes to know that this peacock has very little defect in his genetics. Children of such a peacock also live longer and are healthy. Now coming back to human temperament, that is human personality. I believe that human temperament rests on changing according to the situation and not on showing fitness like the peacock's feathers. This means that no one temperament, no one personality is always good or bad forever. In different situations, the same temperament can have advantages as well as disadvantages. This can be understood with two very good examples from animals. The first example is the guppy fish. Researchers saw that when a predatory fish was put in the tank of guppy fish, then the guppies that were more scared and alert survived, while the less scared ones were eaten by the predator. But if these scared fish are kept in a place where there is no predator, then their being scared proves harmful for them, because they always remain hidden out of fear and forget to eat or produce children. Therefore, being cowardly is good in a situation where there is a predator. But where there is no predator, it is bad. The second example is of a small bird named Great Tit. In the Netherlands, scientists saw that some birds search for new things very quickly, while some birds keep sitting in one place. This temperament also goes to their children. In the year 2000, when there was no shortage of food, then many birds survived. In such a situation, there was a lot of competition for living place. At that time, fast and angry male birds got the advantage because they made their place by fighting. But in 1999 and 2001, when there was shortage of food, then there was no competition for living place. Then these same fast temperament male birds suffered loss because they kept fighting unnecessarily and wasted their energy. From both these examples, it is proved that no temperament, no personality, or habit is always the best forever. It completely depends on the situation or circumstance in which you are born and living. Human personality, that is human temperament, is exactly the same, which we will try to understand further. Erica is a 55-year-old woman. She lives in a small and quiet village in England. Every morning she goes to the office in her small car, works with some news writers, and then comes back, cooks food, and sleeps early. She says that she has no big desire to move ahead in life. Neither does she want a higher promotion in her job, nor is she searching for love. Her life seems very quiet and lonely. But when Erica took the test of the social and enthusiastic temperament, her scores were very high. This was a strange thing, because such people, that is, extroverts, are considered always ambitious and always doing something new. When I looked deeply into her life, I understood that all her desires were fulfilled in youth itself. She lived in Italy. She sang songs. She traveled a lot. And she also had many lovers, meaning Erica's life was not quiet, but she completed every hobby of hers. Now the question is, why do traveling, sex, music, and so many hobbies come in the same person? The answer is hidden in the social temperament. In the year 1921, Carl Jung used the words extrovert for social people and introvert for people who stay within themselves. A social person is one who likes the outer world, hustle and bustle, and living among people, while a person who stays within himself is one who remains lost in his thoughts and likes peace. People often understand the meaning of social temperament as only being friendly, sociable, but it is not like that. Shy people's social temperament is not low. Rather, their anxious temperament, that is neuroticism, is high. A less social person, an introvert, does not meet people only because he does not get any special fun in it. Many things are included in the social temperament: fun of sex and romance, desire to earn name and money, hobby of sports and traveling, and the most important thing, good emotions, that is positive emotions. Such people always remain happy, excited, and full of enthusiasm. Erica finds happiness even in her quiet life. That happiness is connected to getting a reward, For humans, there are two kinds of rewards. First, natural rewards, that is, unconditioned incentives, like food when hungry or making friends. Second, learned rewards, that is, conditioned incentives, like earning money, which actually shows our social status in society. The brain system of social people works very fast on seeing these rewards. Take Bill's example. He was earlier a very rich man who had horses, farmhouse, and posh cars. But he lost everything. Today he works in a hotel. Still, Bill says that he will become rich again because the fun of his life is in that. Bill gets so much fun from these things that he is ready to take any risk for it. In contrast, people whose social temperament is low, introverts, are not sad or depressed. They just do not run after the rewards of the world. Money, status. Look at the 25-year-old interviewer. He is a smart computer programmer, but he has no hobby of becoming rich or traveling the world. He says, if I get a job, then fine. If not, then also fine. In the same way, when a scientist David's job was about to go, he was happy instead of being sad. He felt that now he would get freedom from this race of running after money and name. So the result is that social people, that is extroverts, run after the names of the world, while people who stay within themselves, that is introverts, remain free from them. Now we can understand what the social temperament, that is extraversion, actually is. Its meaning is the level of good emotions, that is positive emotions, inside a person. The person in whom this temperament is high works very hard to get people's company, new achievements, romance, and praise, because he gets a lot of happiness from these things, while a less social person does not get so much happiness from these things. Therefore, he does not waste his energy in running after them. Scientific research also proves this thing correct. In one investigation, people were asked to write about their good and bad experiences. People whose social temperament was high, their mood became much better after writing the good experience. In another investigation, when people were shown funny, scary, and sad videos, then social people got much more happiness from watching the funny video. But on watching scary or sad videos, their behavior was the same as other people. This means that the temperament is connected only to good and happiness-giving things, and not to every kind of emotion. fMRI machines that take pictures of the brain also prove the same thing. When social people were shown happiness-giving pictures like dogs' puppies, ice cream, then there was a lot of activity in some parts of their brain. Investigations done on animals also show that there is a reward system in the middle of our brain. A reward system. Whenever we are about to get any happiness-giving thing, money, sex, food, this system releases a chemical named dopamine. Dopamine gives us happiness and gives us the motivation to work hard to get that thing. People who are social, now this system works very fast. Drugs like cocaine also speed up this same dopamine system, due to which the person feels a lot of happiness. The question is, why does some people's dopamine system work faster than others? The reason for this is our genes. Scientists found that there is a gene named DRD4 that controls dopamine. Every person has a different length of this gene in the body. People who have the long form of this gene have a higher social score. But why did the process of human evolution not keep this temperament the same in every person? There are advantages as well as disadvantages of this. The advantages are that a social person can achieve big goals, can earn more money, and gets more chances of romance. In old times, such people got high status in society. But there are also many disadvantages. The person who always keeps running after new things often loses the things he has, like money or family. Social people have a higher risk of multiple marriages, affairs, and family breaking. Besides this, such people do more risky work, due to which their risk of getting injured or dying early also remains high. From the evolutionary point of view, when humans needed to search for new places and there was shortage of food and drink, then social and risk-taking people were very needed. But when situations improved and everything became quiet, then responsible and non-risk-taking people got the advantage. That is why no level of the social temperament is always right or wrong. It is just a temperament, a personality with which we have to learn to live. Some people's fate seems to have only bad things written. Suzanne's story is also like that. She was very sharp in studies at school. Her teachers wanted her to take the exam for going to Oxford University, but she applied neither for Oxford nor for any other university. She thought of going to art school, but even there, studies seemed very difficult. Then a boy named Adam came into her life. Adam was rich and good-looking. Suzanne left studies and started working. After some time, both got married. But soon, Suzanne started remaining sad and sick, went into clinical depression. Her weight decreased and she had to take many medicines. Their marriage was also not going well. Adam was a very angry person. Even before marriage, he had hit Suzanne many times. After marriage, he used to take out his expenses from Suzanne's money and beat her. Suzanne's illness kept increasing, and she had to leave her job. Adam did not like this at all, because now Suzanne's money stopped coming. He started beating Suzanne badly. During this, Suzanne also started an affair with a musician, due to which Adam's anger flared up more. Adam hit her so hard many times that her nose broke and she became unconscious. Suzanne gathered courage, left Adam, and came back to her parents' house. She came to know that Adam also had an affair with someone else. Suzanne took admission in college and started nursing studies. Now a musician had come into her life. But that man was already married and had relations with many women. He spent 5 years with Suzanne, but never married her and always deceived her. After many years, Suzanne left that musician too and met Stephen. Stephen always remained drunk, and he also had no money. Suzanne felt pity on him, and they got married. After some time, Stephen's job was lost. He started beating Suzanne and his daughter badly after drinking. The matter reached the police. Meanwhile, Suzanne was working in a big company, where the manager also troubled her a lot. Because of all these troubles, Suzanne became a victim of depression many times, and thoughts of suicide also started coming in her mind. I chose Suzanne's this painful story to explain the anxious temperament, that is, neuroticism. In Suzanne's test, the score of this temperament was very high. Now let's understand what science says about this. Just like the social temperament, that is extraversion, is the level of good emotions, that is positive emotions. In the same way, the anxious temperament, that is neuroticism, is the level of bad emotions, that is negative emotions. In experiments, it has been seen that when high anxious people are shown scary or sad films, then their mood becomes much worse. Daily troubles also have a very deep effect on such people. Negative emotions include fear, anxiety, shame, guilt, disgust, and sadness. All these emotions make us feel bad, but evolution made them for our benefit. Fear saves us from danger. Anxiety prepares us for coming troubles, and sadness gives us the chance to learn from our mistakes. These bad emotions of ours work like the smoke detecting machine installed in the house. A smoke detector is set in such a way that it raises the alarm even on a little smoke, so that it does not miss when real fire catches. In the same way, for our ancestors, the risk of being thrown out by wild animals or people was very big. Therefore, nature made our bad emotions very hypersensitive. Even if 99 times our anxiety is baseless, but one time it can save our life. People whose anxious score, that is neuroticism, is high, their smoke detector is very sensitive. Therefore, they always remain in anxiety and extract the worst meaning of small things. Like on a work going bad, they will think everything is my fault. No one likes me. I will never be able to become successful. Scientists have connected the anxious temperament with that part of the brain which is called the amygdala. High anxious people's amygdala always keeps working more and works very fast on seeing scary things. Besides this, there is a chemical, that is neurotransmitter, named serotonin in the brain that controls our bad emotions. Medicines that remove depression, like Prozac, work on this same serotonin. Research shows that people who have the short form of the serotonin transporter gene have a higher anxious score. From Suzanne's story, one thing is completely clear, that the anxious temperament, that is neuroticism, and depression are very deeply connected. Depression is not a disease that comes suddenly and then goes away, but it is a part of the life of high anxious people. Understand it like this. If the ground is low at some place, then even a little rain will cause flood there. High anxious people are like that low ground, whom even a small trouble of life drowns badly. Now a question arises. If Suzanne's smoke detector was so sharp, then why did she not stay away from bad men like Adam or Stephen? This is because the effect of the anxious temperament, that is neuroticism, falls not only on the outer world but also on the way of thinking about ourselves. Suzanne knew that those men were bad, but she was even more scared of loneliness. She had no confidence in herself. Therefore, even after being the smartest in school, she did not go to university. High anxious people always doubt their decisions and keep changing their identity or goals. In high anxious people, self-doubt and confusion about their identity can become so much that it can take the form of a disease. Borderline personality disorder. Such people always keep thinking who they are, what they want, and what will give them happiness. They often make unrealistic goals and do short-lasting marriages. They are exactly like the person who is not getting sleep and is tossing and turning on the bed. The biggest sad thing about high anxious people is that they not only react more to negative things, but such things happen more in their life than others. This is because their anxious personality is in their genetics, in their genes, due to which cases of depression and taking one's own life are seen more in their family. Besides this, because of their low confidence, their low self-esteem, they often take wrong decisions, like Suzanne marrying Stephen. They always trouble their partner so much out of the fear of being left that the partner really leaves them. Overall, high anxious people have many diseases, like sadness, anxiety, not getting sleep, heart and stomach diseases. Their marriages often break, and they also remain less happy in work. Now the question is, if the anxious temperament is so bad, then why has evolution, nature, not finished it till now? The answer is that bad emotions, negative emotions, are very necessary to save our life. People who do not feel pain die very quickly because they do not even come to know of the injury. In the same way, not having fear and sadness can also be fatal. To understand this, look at low anxious people. People's neuroticism is very low in people who climb Mount Everest. They do not get anxious, but they have to pay the price with their life, because the risk of death on Everest is very high, 10%. Because of not having fear, they ignore the danger. In the same way, psychopaths who commit crimes without regret also have very low anxious temperament because they have no fear of the punishment of their deeds. In old times, when humans lived among wild animals, then the anxious temperament, that is always fear and alertness, was necessary to save life. So does the anxious temperament have any advantage in today's world? Yes, absolutely. Many great writers, poets, and artists have it very high. Such people believe that nothing in the world is completely right. Nothing is perfect. Therefore, they continuously try to make things better. The fear of failing always troubles them, which motivates them to work harder. If such people are also responsible and disciplined, then they can achieve very big success. Besides this, the high anxious temperament also has a very big mental advantage. Usually people are very much in the air about any work, over-optimistic. They start work without thinking. But high anxious temperament people think deeply about any work. They see the truth in the same form as it is. Therefore, they estimate the coming troubles beforehand. The interesting thing is that in works like law or research, where a lot of thinking is needed, the anxious temperament helps in getting success. The famous playwright Henrik Ibsen has explained this very well in his story, Peer Gynt. In the story, when Peer wants happiness without worry, then he has to take out one of his eyes, and from the other eye, the world looks only pink. This means that if you always want to remain happy and carefree, then you will never be able to see the real troubles of the world. Brokers working in the share market also have the same condition. When they started taking medicines that remove sadness, Prozac, their anxiety finished. They started flying so much in the air, became so over-optimistic that they felt the market will never fall, and they drowned a lot of people's money. If they had a little anxiety, then maybe this would not have happened. Therefore, the anxious temperament is not just a disease, but also a strength. It shows us the truth and motivates us to do better work. Instead of finishing it, we should learn to handle it and use it correctly. Suppose you are playing a card game of money. In front of you, 4 decks, A, B, C, D, are kept. From deck A and B, on taking out a card, you always get $100 reward, while from C and D, only $50. But there is a catch in this. In A and B decks, big fines are also hidden in between. Like in A, $1,250, and in B, $1,250. In C and D, the fines are very small, like $250 and $50. If you carefully calculate, then A and B decks will put you in loss, while from C and D decks, you will remain in profit overall. This is called the Iowa gambling task. When people play this, then in the beginning, they are pulled towards A and B because their immediate $100 is being received. But after bearing some fines responsible, people immediately leave the temptation of the immediate reward and choose C and D decks, so that in the long term they get profit. Our life is also exactly like this. Around us, there are always immediately fun-giving things like playing, watching TV, but we have to leave these and focus on our long-term goals, like studies or work. Scientists made this game for those patients whose frontal lobe of the brain was injured, such people who were earlier very responsible. After the injury become very careless and irresponsible. In this game, they always choose only A and B decks. They know that they are causing loss, but they cannot stop the immediate $100 reward. The surprising thing is that not only people with brain injury, but also people addicted to gambling, alcohol and drugs, behave the same way in this game. The addiction of gambling, alcohol, and breaking the law is often seen in the same family, which means that their genes have a hand behind it. The real reason of all these addictions is that these people cannot stop themselves on seeing any reward or fun. In the Big Five model of human personality, this ability to control is called conscientiousness and responsibility. People whose this score is high are disciplined and responsible, while people whose score is low are weak-willed or weak, willpower and greedy, impulsive. Some people will think that enjoying alcohol or drugs should be connected to the social and enthusiastic temperament. Yes, it is true that social people get more happiness from intoxication, but if their conscientiousness is also high, then they can decide that they will not do intoxication again. The real reason of addiction is not getting more fun, but the weakness of stopping the fun. On taking pictures of the brain, that is fMRI, it came to know that conscientiousness is connected to the part of our brain named dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Whenever we have to stop any temptation, this part works fast. Most low conscientiousness people do not become victims of drugs or gambling, but they definitely have laziness and lack of focus on work. They postpone today's work to tomorrow. On the other hand, high conscientiousness people are very successful in work and job because they make their goals and stick to them. People often understand conscientiousness as intelligence, but it is not like that. A very sharp-minded, that is high IQ, person can also become a victim of drug addiction. Actually, many times very sharp-minded people are less responsible because they know that they will manage the work with their intelligence without any preparation. Now a question arises. Is conscientiousness always good? Has human evolution always promoted it? The answer is no. In today's world where one has to sit on a chair for 8 hours and work, it seems very necessary. But our ancestors' world was not like that. Even in the time of our hunter-gatherer ancestors, conscientiousness was needed. Like making weapons for hunting, which takes many days. This is like setting a goal and completing it. But at that time, having more than needed conscientiousness could also be harmful. Think of a person who plans that I will collect honey on Wednesday, and suddenly a herd of deer passes in front of him. Then will he leave them and go to take honey? No. In that time, life had no guarantee. Everything was unpredictable. In it, decisions had to be taken every moment, sometimes for hunting and sometimes to save oneself. Therefore, the person who could take steps immediately and without thinking, spontaneous or impulsive, was more successful. Nowadays, a disease is found a lot in children, which is called ADHD, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. In this disease, the child cannot sit stuck in one place. He is very restless and does work without thinking. We can call this very low conscientiousness and very high anxious temperament. In today's time, even if it is considered a disease, because children cannot sit stuck and work in school or office. But in old times, when life was very fast and full of dangers, then maybe these same ADHD children would have proved the best hunters. Now, talking about another disease. OCPD, Obsessive Compulsive Personality Disorder. This is the disease of very high conscientiousness. Note that this is completely different from OCD, the disease of washing hands again and again or checking things. In OCPD, the person becomes so bound to the rules and timetable made by himself that no freedom or fun remains in his life. One example of this is Ronald. He wakes up every day at 6:47 in the morning, eats 2 eggs boiled for 2 minutes, 45 seconds, and is on his chair exactly at 8:15. If there is even a little disturbance in this rule of his, then he starts getting anxiety. He is so mad behind doing every work exactly right that even after doing the best work in the office, he is the slowest worker. Such people's good relationships with anyone do not form. Ronald also has a rule before sleeping. There should be absolutely no sound in the room. The temperature of the sheet should be exactly right. He has to do 35 sit-ups and read 2 pages of the dictionary. If any woman is sleeping with him, then after sex, he either tells her to go home or to sleep in the other room. Obviously, no woman could stick with him for many days. People of the same generation reach this extent because the controlling part of their brain becomes so dominant that their ability to react immediately to anything finishes. They become just machines of rules. In women, this thing can also appear in the form of the disease named anorexia, wherein the desire of becoming thin, they control their desire of eating and drinking so much that they start dying of hunger. So this means that from the evolutionary point of view, no level of conscientiousness is always good or bad forever. If everything in your life is fixed, then high conscientiousness is good. But if life is changing very fast, unpredictable environment, then low conscientiousness, that is doing work without thinking, can also be useful for you. Think that you are sitting in a closed room. in the room on the other side of the glass in front, a known person of yours is sitting. Both of you are hungry. In front of you there are two buttons. Pulling the first button will get you food. Pulling the second button will get you food as well as your known person. Which button will you pull? Obviously, you will pull the second button only, because in this there is no loss of yours and benefit of the other. Even if that person was a stranger, most people would do the same. Being human, this seems a very common thing to us. But when this same experiment was done on chimpanzees, they pulled any button as per their wish. They did not care whether the chimpanzee in front will get food or not, even if both were brothers, living in the same place. Why is a human so connected to his people? Why do we donate blood? Why do we give tip at the place of eating? To understand this, a game was played. Dictator game. In this, A is given $10 and said that he can divide these money between himself and stranger B as he wants. According to selfishness, A should keep $9 himself and give $1 to B. But this never happens. Most people divide the money half-half. $5. People who understand the matter of money believe that humans have other regarding preferences, meaning we also get happiness from what the other person is getting. According to Darwin's theory, this is very strange, because nature makes us only to keep ourselves alive, not for the benefit of others. Then what is there in humans that is not in animals? The answer is theory of mind. This is that power of our brain by which we can understand others' emotions and desires. In chimpanzees, this power is almost zero. Therefore, they do not think about others. Theory of mind has two parts: mentalizing and empathizing. Mentalizing means understanding the way of thinking of the other person. Like if one child hides a toy, then the second child can understand where the toys are. But autistic children have a lot of difficulty in understanding this. In adults also, the level of mentalizing is different. Some people understand very easily that Tom thinks that Jim understands what Susan wants, meaning fourth level nesting. While for some people this is very difficult, people whose this power is good also have more friends. The second part of theory of mind is empathizing, whose meaning is feeling the emotions, that is emotions or pain of the other person. Like when we see someone sad and say, "I can understand how you must be feeling." People whose this power is good take a lot of care of others and are kind, pro-social. In the Big Five model, this humanity and friendly temperament is called agreeableness. People whose agreeableness is high are trusting of others and helping them. People whose this score is low are rude, selfish, and quarrelsome. When I and Myth Lydell did experiment on some students, then it came to know that those whose agreeableness was high also understood others' emotions very well. Such people got a peace of mind in helping others. In contrast, low-friendly people are very selfish. They often look at others with suspicious eyes. In one case, studied a person whose friendliness was very low, said very bad things about his parents, and called them fools and weak. He only thinks about his successes and name. He says helping others is useless. The most important for me is that I consider myself better than others. Looking according to Darwin's theory, this person is saying completely right, because nature teaches us to think only about ourselves. But for humans, hearing such uncaring things seems strange. When the level of being friendly falls very low, then the person becomes a psychopath. Psychopaths are completely selfish, cruel, and liars. They use others only to extract their work. Many big criminals come in this same list. Such people's anger or fighting is not like anxious people. Psychopaths harm others thoughtfully and without any regret. But low friendliness does not mean that the person will always be bad. 3 things stop any person from committing crime or bad work. First, empathy. That is understanding others' pain, which comes from high friendliness, high agreeableness. Second, deliberation. That is thinking, which comes from high conscientiousness. And third is fear, which comes from high anxiety. That is neuroticism. If a person's friendliness is low, meaning he does not care about others, then also fear or thinking can stop him from committing crime. A person becomes a big criminal or psychopath only when he has deficiency of all 3 things: empathy, deliberation, and fear, which is very rare. A good example of low friendliness is David. He is a scientist and also a good father and husband. He loves nature and science, but he has no interest in people. He says, "I find most people boring." He does not understand the hidden meaning behind others' talks, hidden status signals. Therefore, he prefers to stay away from people. Here it is also necessary to understand the difference between autism and psychopathy. Autistic people cannot understand the way of thinking of others. But if someone is in pain in front of them, they can feel it. On the other hand, psychopaths understand the way of thinking of others very well. That is why they can deceive, but they cannot feel others' pain. And the question is high friendliness, agreeableness, always good? If we talk of good and bad, then yes, it is very good. But according to Darwin's evolution, leaving one's own benefits and working for others is a big mistake for human evolution. Where did so much humanity come in humans? The answer is that our ancestors lived in small groups and worked together. In such a situation, if any person thought only about himself or behaved badly, then he was thrown out of the society. And in that time, being out of the society meant direct death. Besides this, humans have language. If anyone does bad work, then the news spreads in the whole group and no one helps him. Therefore, for their own life and benefit, only humans learned to take care of others' benefits. So should a human take 100% care of others and not of himself at all? No. If anyone does this, then he will cause his own loss. Even today, there is a very rare disease, dependent personality disorder, in which the person completely forgets his needs and lives only for others. In old times, children of such people would not have survived because they would always feed others first. On the other hand, 100% selfish, that is, psychopaths, would have been thrown out by the society. Therefore, selection chose the middle path, meaning taking a little care of oneself and a little of others. That is agreeableness. The level of being friendly keeps changing always. If in the society all people are very good and simple, agreeable, then a clever and selfish person, a psychopath, will remain in a lot of benefit because he will make a fool of everyone. But when clever people like him become too many, then everyone will fight with each other. Then no one will trust anyone, and living in society will become difficult. In such a situation, a good and friendly, a pro-social person will again come into benefit, because at least in his own group there will be peace. This is called frequency-dependent selection. This means that any quality, any trait is beneficial only as long as it is less in society, rare. There are also some disadvantages of high friendliness. In one study, about 4,000 executives, 4,000 businessmen were tested. It came to know that the lower their friendliness was, meaning the more rude and self-centered they were, the higher their income and position in the company was. In simple language, simple people often remain behind. Therefore, in today's time, most people sitting at the top in big companies or politics have somewhere psychopath-like qualities, that is, ruthlessness. There is another interesting aspect of this thing. When women are asked what kind of husband they want, then first of all they choose a kind and understanding person. But along with this, they also want that he has social standing and money in society. Now here there is a problem. A kind person is more friendly, but a person who earns a lot of money and status is often less friendly. Another big thing is that there is a very big difference between men and women in being friendly. Women are much more friendly, that is agreeable and understanding of others' pain than men. This is because in old times a powerful man could produce children with many women. Therefore, for him, status and power, that is status, was more necessary, even if he did not have good relationships with anyone. But women's children are limited, and to raise them the help of society and other women is very necessary. Therefore, for women, relationships have always been more necessary than power. Nowadays, it is often said that, why are there not 50% women on the chair of bosses of big companies, that is CEOs? Is this discrimination? It is possible that this is not discrimination, but because women do not want to sacrifice their relationships and family for status, which is often necessary for becoming a boss. We have to understand that women's necessary things are different from men's, and this is not a weakness, but their strength. Now we will talk about the fifth and last quality of human temperament, openness. Openness to experience, new experiences. Understanding this is the most difficult. Some people also call it culture or intelligence. People whose openness is high always want to learn and do new things. They like reading books, art, music, and theatre a lot. They do not like just watching TV serials or reading romantic novels. Openness also has a direct relationship with our intelligence, that is intelligence or IQ. The person whose this is high, his IQ will also be a little high. But this is not only intelligence. The best example of high openness people in the world is poets and artists. Allen Ginsberg's famous poem, Howl, talks about such artists. These poets and artists have three biggest specialities. First, imagination. They can join two completely different things, like joining emotions with food. Their mental work is more open than a normal person. Second, rebellion from society. They do not accept the old rules of society. They always keep trying new things. And third, spirituality. They remain in search of some unseen power or peace, away from the race of the world. Maybe this is the reason that in Allen Ginsberg's poems and his life, often a glimpse of madness is seen. In his poem, Howl Hallucination, being away from reality and strange talks are included. Ginsberg's mother also had a mental disease named psychosis, in which she used to hear voices and felt that people are giving her poison. Ginsberg himself also remained in a mental hospital for some time. Once he told that when he was lying down, he heard the voice of the famous poet Blake. He felt that his body became light and he joined with the whole world. Such strange things are often felt by people of the mental disease named schizophrenia. These four things seen in poets. First, flight of thought, that is broad associations. Second, walking differently from society. Third, belief in strange powers, and fourth, talks like madness. These all things are found not only in poets, but in every person of the openness temperament. And the biggest thing is that these have no connection with intelligence. To understand this deeply, look at the talks like madness, psychosis-like experiences. The risk of having mental diseases is very high in artists and poets. Openness can also be connected with schizotypy. Schizotypy means that the world is not divided only into mad and sane people. This is a scale. Some people, while being completely normal, sometimes hear voices. They believe in strange powers. These are called strange experiences or unusual experiences. When poets and artists are tested, then their score of strange experiences is exactly as much as schizophrenia patients. People whose openness is high also have a high score of strange experiences. Openness also has a direct relationship with people who believe in magic and hypnotism. Such people never remain bound to any one job or rule. They always keep searching for new things. Now here there is a very big puzzle. We saw that openness has a little relationship with intelligence. But along with this, it also has a relationship with strange experiences. That is, unusual experiences. And the interesting thing is that strange experiences have no relationship with intelligence. Rather, many times this shows low intelligence. Scientists have still not been able to solve this puzzle. My belief is that openness and intelligence are completely different things. Intelligence means how fast all the parts of your brain are working, but openness means how big the world of thoughts, that is associations, is in your brain. It is often said that openness gives birth to creativity, and its example is always considered artists. But the new discoveries happening in science, math, and engineering are also creativity. Mental diseases are more in people connected with art, while this does not happen in scientists. Therefore, we can say that for poetry or art, more openness is needed, and for science, intelligence is needed. Now coming back to the same question, what does the world of thoughts, that is associations, mean? People whose openness is high find relationships between completely different things. Like if a common person is asked, what use can a brick have? Then he will say, a house can be made from this. But an openness person will say we can use this like the coffin of a Barbie doll. In our brain, Every word, every concept has a complete network. When we read the word shark, then in our brain, words like sea and fish also light up. But should the word shark also bring lion, because both are predators, or the word soup also come in the brain? A common person's brain does not think so far, but people whose openness is high, or who have unusual experiences, such strange relationships form very fast in their brain. This is their biggest speciality. Because of openness, only people adopt strange beliefs like magic or ghosts. When relationships form between different things in their brain, then they join common things, also with some big or mysterious thing. This same thing pushes them on one side towards illusion and madness, and on the other side from this, only they create the best poems and art. Like poets and artists' openness, people also like difficult books and films, walk differently from the rules of society, and try different works. This means that such people's brain works in a way that a common person's brain, that is low openness brain, cannot. Now the question is this speciality of the brain good or bad? From the evolutionary point of view, nature has made different parts of our brain that do different work, like sensing danger, recognizing food. Usually if all these parts get joined with each other too much, then the person will get confused and make mistakes. Therefore, nature always wants that all the parts of the brain work separately. But when humans learned to speak, then things changed. Now the person who could say his talks in a very interesting and unique way using language started becoming more famous in society. According to Geoffrey Miller's book, The Mating Mind, the more creative a person is in conversation, the more easily he gets life partners. In this way, social and sexual selection increase the desire to adopt new things, along with intelligence in humans. Even today, we give a lot of respect to poets, artists, and writers, even if their art has no special work in our daily life. Still, we get pulled towards them because they have attracted our attention with their talks. In small and backward societies, also magic or oja has a lot of prevalence, and such people are also often very ahead in accepting new things. Investigations have also proved that in the life of poets and artists, there are more sexual partners than common people. From this, it comes to know that in society, arts and creativity is considered very attractive. But increasing the desire for new things, openness, also caused some losses. From the different parts of the brain getting joined, more the power of doing any one work deeply decreases. Therefore, high openness people are often weak in answering practical and true questions. Their attention gets distracted very quickly. An even bigger loss is that this temperament takes them towards strange talks, and in the end, towards mental disease. Why did natural selection not make openness completely the same in every person? The reason for this is that its benefit depends on the environment. If life is very difficult and saving life is necessary, then people like partners who understand practical talks and are useful in difficult times. In such a time, openness has no value. But when life is easy and safe, then people give more importance to art and flight of thought. That is imagination. And then the demand of openness, people increases. The result of openness can also be different for every person. Even with the same temperament, one can become a great artist and another mentally ill. This depends on how much company of people the person got and what his situations were. Therefore, we all think in different ways. Some people like art and strange things then. Some low openness people consider all these talks nonsense and useless. Both are right in their place because their temperaments are different. So if we try to understand the summary of the big five, then the social temperament, that is extraversion, means showing happiness on getting reward. Advantage is achieving more destinations. Disadvantage is taking risks and family breaking. Neuroticism, that is anxious temperament, in this showing fear towards danger. Advantage is remaining smart and hard work, and disadvantage is anxiety and sadness, anxiety and depression. Then third is conscientiousness and responsibility, stopping greed. Advantage is discipline and thinking ahead. Disadvantage is being stubborn and lack of doing work without thinking. Fourth is friendly temperament, that is agreeableness, understanding others' pain. Advantage is good relationships, and disadvantage is keeping oneself behind, losing status. Then fifth is openness, the temperament of adopting new things. This is a big world of thoughts. Advantage is art and the thinking of doing new, that is creativity. And disadvantage is strange beliefs and madness. In this book, we saw that our personality rests to a large extent on our genes. Scientists say that 50% of our temperament, that is personality, we get from our parents' genes. But what about the remaining 50%? This means that half part of our temperament, our personality, the non-genetic part, is made from the environment around us. Childhood experiences, disease, parents' way of raising, that is parenting, and school and friends. The big sad thing is that brain experts, that is psychologists, have very little information about the effect of this outer environment, this environment. People think that science already knew what effect the environment has on temperament, and the effect of genes came to know later. But the truth is that the people doing research on genes are now the most ahead in searching the effect of the outer environment. How does the effect of the outer environment, that is environment, work? To understand this, we have to keep three things in mind. First, this should match with the evidence of genes, that is genetics. Second, it should be proved that the temperament changed because of the environment, and not that the environment changed because of the person's temperament. And third, this should also prove correct according to the development of science, that is evolutionary plausibility. Scientists do investigation on twins. Identical twins have 100% same genes. Non-identical twins have 50% same genes, because both kinds of twins are raised with the same house and same parents. Therefore, whatever difference or similar thing is seen in their personality is because of genes. To prove this, scientists also did investigation on those twins who were raised in different houses from childhood. It came to know that even after being raised in different houses, the temperament of identical twins was very similar to each other. While if any child is adopted in another house, then his temperament does not match at all with the children of that house. Rather, it matches more with his real brothers and sisters, whom he never met. There are firm evidences of this, that our temperament rests on our genes. But if only genes were everything, then identical twins, whose genes are 100% same, their temperament, their personality, should have been completely the same. But this does not happen. Their personality, their temperament matches to a large extent, but not completely. This means that half part of our temperament is decided by the outer environment. The outer environment can be divided into two parts. First, same environment, shared environment. Those things that are the same for all children of the house, like parents' way of raising, their lifestyle, how big the family is, or parents separating. And second, different environment, that is non-shared environment. Those things that happen only with any one child, like any one child falling sick, or any one child going through a particular thing. From the investigation done on twins and adopted children, a very surprising thing came in front. It came to know that on becoming adult, the effect of the same environment on children's temperament, adult personality, is zero. Its direct meaning is that parents' way of raising, that is parenting style, parents' lifestyle, education, or way of thinking, that is philosophy of life, parents separating or size of the family has no direct effect on children's temperament on becoming adult. Note that this thing does not apply to families with a lot of beating or bad behavior, because such things can leave deep marks for the whole life. This thing is the biggest and most surprising discovery of the last few years in the world of brain science, that is psychology. This means that we have to change the old thinking that believed that lack of mother's love or father's not being there makes the child like that. If this happened, then the temperament of children raised in the same house should have been the same. But research shows that this is not so. Now you will think that some reports say that children of separated parents often themselves separate on becoming adult, or the child of a depressed mother also becomes a victim of sadness. This is completely true. But this does not happen because the child learned this behavior. Rather, this happens because the child got the same genes from the parents due to which the parents separated, or they had depression, meaning the effect is of genes and not of the environment. Scientists say that if the outer environment has an effect on our personality, then it is not direct, but very complex. To prove this, any theory will have to pass in three ways. First, this should match with the gene investigation. Second, it should be proved that the temperament changed because of the environment, and not that the environment changed because of the temperament. Like parents behave differently with children, because the children's temperament is different, and not that because of different behavior, the children's temperament becomes different. And third, this should be correct according to human development, that is evolutionary possibility. To understand evolution, take the example of Daphnia, that is water flea. Daphnia has a crest on the head. The interesting thing is that the presence of the crest does not rest on genes, but rests on the environment of the water. If predators that eat Daphnia are present in the water, then a crest grows on Daphnia's head. The crest saves it from predators. Daphnia can do this because nature has made a special way inside them. If there is predator in the water, then grow the crest. The same should happen with human temperament. If our temperament changes from any outer thing, then that thing should be such that it can give correct information for the coming tomorrow. Some people say that the relationship that is with mother-father in childhood, mother-infant bond, the person on becoming adult, also makes the same kind of relationship with other people. But according to evolution, this thing is completely absurd. Your mother can be sick, can be angry, or can be troubled. How can nature decide the temperament of your whole life only on the behavior of one person? Actually, the children who remain sad with their sad mother, they play and jump with their teacher in school, exactly like common children. Children do not learn from their mother how the world is. They only learn how their mother is. Another thing is said, the number of birth. It is said that the eldest child in the house is responsible, and the youngest child is funny and rebellious. But even after a very big investigation, no firm evidence of this was found. When anyone tells the temperament of his brothers and sisters, then he will always consider his elder brother responsible and younger brother a child, only because he has seen them like that. But when people outside the house, independent sources, tell their temperament, then no such difference is seen. According to evolution, also the number of birth has no meaning. Being the youngest or weakest in the house can help you in deciding your behavior in the family. But how can you decide the temperament of your whole life on the strength of this? It is possible that you are the youngest and weakest in the house, but on becoming adult, you are more powerful than 90% people of the outer world. In such a situation, deciding your temperament according to the weakness of childhood would be foolishness. The number of birth has a very little effect in deciding any person's personality. In a big investigation of 1983, also the same thing came in front. But why are people still not ready to accept this thing? The reason for this is that when we think about the temperament of our brothers and sisters, then childhood things come to our mind. At that time, there was a kind of competition among all of us to get the love of parents in the house. According to that time, we all were very different from each other. But that difference was only till the environment of the family. Today, when we all have become adult and are facing the outer world, then that behavior of childhood is of no use to us. So then, how and where does the effect of the outer environment, that is environment, happen? For this, we have to understand the psychological environment during gestation. That is the environment of the womb. Recently, this thing has come in front that the conditions of the mother's body in the days of the womb, that is pregnancy, have a deep effect on the child's development and behavior. Like the mice that were scared or troubled a lot during pregnancy, their children were more scared and less friendly than common mice. The children of mice were behaving exactly like human neuroticism, that is anxious temperament. Why does this happen? Actually, the mother's tension, that is stress hormones, work like a kind of weather forecast for the child. The child feels that the world in which I'm going to go, there are a lot of dangers. Therefore, I should remain smart. For mice, this system is very good because their age is only 1 or 2 years. If today their mother is feeling danger, then it is very possible that for the next 2 years, that danger will remain. But does the same happen in humans? It is true that in times of war or famine, the children of mothers who have a lot of tension have more mental diseases seen. But does this really change their temperament, their personality, or only makes their body weak? We cannot say firmly yet, because humans are very different from mice. Our age is very long. Therefore, the information of a few months of the womb, that is pregnancy, weather forecast cannot be correct for our whole life. If not tension, then can the mother's diet decide the child's temperament? In old times, in hunter-gatherers, if the mother had shortage of food, then this meant that there is famine in the whole society, and this famine can continue for many years. In such a situation, the children who were born with low weight, that is low birth weight, their body got ready to survive even in less food. But in today's time, where food is abundant, this same habit of adapting becomes harmful for them, and they get diseases like diabetes. It is possible that on shortage of food, the children's temperament also changes. They become less friendly and less traveling. But here also there is a puzzle. If the effect of the womb was so firm, then the temperament of twins raised together should have been completely the same, because they grow in the same mother's womb at the same time. But in investigation, no such evidence was seen. Although the weight of twins at the time of birth is often different, from which it comes to know that even inside the womb there is a little difference in the food and environment they get. From recent investigation, an interesting thing has come to know that children who are born in autumn or fall or winter have more desire to search for new things than children born in spring or summer. Why is this? No one can say firmly yet. One reason can be that in old times, children born after summer were more healthy because of getting good food due to harvesting. And for children who are more healthy, being extrovert or enthusiastic and traveling outside is a good way. From this, a very necessary thing is understood. What kind of behavior we should do according to our outer environment depends on what kind of qualities we have inside ourselves. If you can run fast and your strength to fight diseases is good, then you can worry less. Low neuroticism. If you are beautiful, that is attractive and powerful, then you can take risk. If you are very intelligent, then you do not need to think very far ahead. Evolution has given us such power that we can decide our personality according to our body's strength, health, and appearance. Investigation also tells the same. Men who are more symmetrical, that is physically symmetrical, and tall are more social and a little less simple. This is because their height and strength help them in dominating people and getting their talk accepted. In one study, it also came to know that boys who increase their height fast at the age of 16 become more ambitious and more money earning on becoming adult. You can think that height and appearance, that is attractiveness, rest on genes. Then how did this become the effect of environment? This is true, but height and appearance do not rest completely only on genes. Any disease or injury happening in childhood can also change our appearance. And according to this changed appearance, our temperament, that is personality, gets decided. This means that some such things of childhood on which we have no control can also change our temperament for the whole life. So can we change our temperament after becoming adult? In this book, we saw that the structure of our brain is decided by our genes and those things of childhood on which we had no control. No control. So does this mean that our temperament can never change? Is trying to remove our deficiencies as useless as trying to increase our height after becoming adult? Before answering these questions, we have to understand whether any person's whole life can be decided only by the 5 numbers, that is, scores, of the big 5. If we measure these 5 scores very finely up to 10 points, then 100,000 different combinations can be made in the world. This means that in Britain, there will be at least 200 people with temperament like me. So are they all also writing a book on the personality model, like me? Absolutely not. Their temperament can be similar to mine, but their life will be very different from mine. According to the psychologist Dan McAdams, who understands the brain, there are 3 levels of understanding any person. First, big 5 traits, which is our firm temperament and which cannot be changed. Second, habits and behavior characteristics, behavior patterns. This depends on where we use our temperament. Like a very social person can go to snowy mountains. Another can keep the hobby of flying in the air, and the third can just enjoy by going to parties. Third, the story of life, personal life story. This is the most special thing. 2 people doing the same work can also tell their life in different ways. One person can tell his loneliness as a sad story, and the other can consider it freedom. How we make our story is the most necessary part of our identity, which no 5-factor model can tell. A person's firm temperament, his basic traits, changes a little with age. As age increases, people become more friendly and responsible, while their enthusiasm, openness, and anxiety, that is neuroticism, decreases a little. In youth, we have to get ahead of others, but in old age, we have to join with family and society. Therefore, this change with time is completely right. We can easily change our way of behavior, that is, behavior patterns. Like an enthusiastic person can choose some safe sport in place of driving a dangerous bike. We can change our behavior in 2 ways. First way is with the flow, with the spin, and second is against the flow, against the spin. If anyone is addicted to alcohol, then he can leave it completely. This is going against the flow. For this, we have to use our brain and stop our bad habits. We can also give a new form to the story of our life. If you do not have money, then you can consider this your deficiency, or then your simplicity, both. This completely depends on your thinking. For people who have high anxious temperament, considering their story good is very difficult. Such people may need talk therapy, that is cognitive behavior therapy, to change their thinking. If you are unhappy with yourself, then first give a new and good perspective to your story. Then put your strength in some good work. High anxiety people suffer a lot of pain inside. Such people should adopt ways against the flow. In this exercise, yoga, meditation, talking with the doctor and medicines are included. There should be no shame in asking for help for one's own well-being. Whatever our temperament is, we ourselves are responsible for our behavior, for our conduct. No temperament is completely good or bad. We just have to learn to use our qualities correctly. Suppose you are very worrying and shy, neurotic and low extraversion. You cannot give a speech in front of people in a big program, but you can do the wonderful work of examining something deeply by sitting quietly. In the same way, if you meet people less, then you cannot become a good advisor to others, but you can become a very good organizer of some work who can take hard decisions without getting carried away in any emotion. In today's world, the right place is present for people of every kind of temperament. You just have to choose the right work and right place according to your qualities. This does not mean changing your temperament, your personality. This means understanding yourself deeply and taking decisions with understanding. If this book has helped you even a little in understanding yourself, then writing it has been successful. In this episode, only this much. We will meet you again in a new episode with a new book. You are listening to Think Again. Thank you.